All right, hello everybody, let's do this. So for this lesson here, we're just going to be solving simple multi-step equations where the variable right here, right, our variable of x is just on one side of the equation, right? So when we take a look at this problem, or this, I'm sorry, this equation here, we want to get x by itself, and notice that there's just one x. It's like here on the left side of the equation, here we want to solve for a, and it's on the right side, and here m. Oh, it looks like there's two m's, but notice all the variables are on one side of the equation, either the left or the right. On the next lesson, we're going to see what happens if the variable's on both sides, but for today, we're just going to warm up and see how do we solve it if it's just on one side of the equation. Okay, so if you want to have this in your notes, right, where you take out your lovely pieces of paper and you write these examples over here, that's great. Or if you also want to like write down the steps as I say it on a piece of paper, go for it. But if you feel like you just want to try and solve some of these problems, let's do it. So here, what would be the first thing we do when we're trying to solve these types of equations is first distribute, if possible. All right. Two, combine like terms. And then three, what would be three? Oh yeah, just solve for the variable using inverse operations. Inverse operations. Okay. Oh, my bad. I should have had that over here. Solve for the variable using inverse operations. Okay. So here, which inverse operations are we talking about? So like here, for example, if I say, hey, what operation is happening here between the x and the 5? It's addition. And if I have x plus 5 is 7, how do I get x by itself? Well, what I do, I would, subtract 5 on both sides, right? So the inverse of addition is subtraction. If I have over here for this problem, if I have x minus 5, what would I do to get x by itself? I would add, notice the operation is subtraction, right? But what's the inverse of that subtraction, or this minus 5 here, is adding 5 on both sides, right? So then here I have x equals 3 plus 5, which is 8. And yeah, let's say here, what's happening between the 2 and the x? Here, this would be multiplication. And what's the inverse of multiplication, right? Like if I wanted to, you see, what's the 2 doing to the x? It's multiplying. I would just divide both sides by 2 when x equals 5. So this is division. Okay, so let's just actually kind of just go through a problem and see what you got. If you want, pause the video and just try this on your own. Let's see what you got. Yeah. Okay, so let's say you pause the video and you want to see how it's done. What would we do first? We would combine the 9x and the negative 7x, right? So what is, and I can show this on the side, what is 9x minus 7x? That is 2x. And then what would I do? I would combine the positive 1 and negative 5, and what does that become? 1 minus 5 is negative 4. Oh, my bad. My camera angle is awful right now. I think this is much better. Oh, my bad. There we go. So if I do 1 minus 5, that's negative 4 equals negative 20. Right? So we combine these two terms is here, these two terms are here. Now, how would I continue, right? If you try and pause the video and try it on your own, right? But what would I do to continue here? You want this x by itself, and right now, you don't touch the 2 yet. What you want to do is you want to add 4 on both sides, right? So now here I have 2x's here. What is negative 4 plus 4? That is 0, right? So we just say it cancels out, equals what is negative 20 plus 4? That is negative 16. So I have it here. Now notice the 2 is multiplying the x, so how would I get the x by itself? I divide both sides by 2, right? Now here, what is me show it over here just so you can see what is 2x divided by 2. Well, this is just 1x, or just x, right? 2 divided by 2 is 1. So when you say it cancels out, here it's 1. Notice that here when we said it canceled out, it was 0, so be careful. So we have x equals, what is negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8. Easy peasy, you got this. Try the next one on your own, but let's say if you want to see the solution, right? This would be 91 equals negative 7 times 3a is negative 21a. Negative 7 times negative 1 is positive 7, right? We're distributing that negative 7 to each one. Okay, then what happens? So now we have 91 is equal to negative 21a plus 7. Notice the variable is over here. So let's subtract 7 on both sides. Subtract 7 on both sides, right? Then I have, this is what? 91 minus 7 is, what is 91 minus 7? That's 84, equals negative 21a, and this is 0. So then what are you going to do to get a by itself, right? It's negative 21 times a, so we're going to divide both sides by negative 21. And then what is 84 divided by negative 21? You could check on the calculator if you want, but it is negative 4, right? And if you just want to see how to do that really quickly on the calculator, like what would I do? Let's just do this. How would I do 84 divided by minus 21, negative 21? I hit 84, right? I hit 84 divided by, and then I want to, where's the negative symbol, right? If you hit this, you're going to write minus 21. You want negative 21, right? And now you have that, and you get negative 4. Okay, so negative 4 equals, this is 1a, or just negative 4 equals a. Easy peasy. Or we could say a equals negative 4. Okay, next one. Let's see. Here we have, notice we can't combine these two. That's a common mistake. But here it's just 4m. Now we're going to distribute the negative 5. Right? So this should be negative 15m minus 50 equals 126. 4m minus 15m is negative 11m minus 50 equals 126. So now what are we going to do? We're going to add 50 on both sides. Then we get what? Negative 11m equals 176. Then we're going to divide both sides by negative 11, negative 11. Then this cancels, m equals what is 176 divided by negative 11, negative 16. And that is our value of m. Okay. Okay, next one. Distribute the negative 3. So you have negative 3k, positive 28. Now there's a negative here, so that has to be distributed to each one. So that's negative k minus 5 equals 23. I bet so many students forget. It happens all the time. They distribute the negative here, but then you forget to distribute the negative here. So be careful. So then I combine the terms, negative 3k, right? What is negative 3k minus k? And I'm combining this one and this one, this term. So that's negative 4k, because that's basically doing negative 3 minus 1, which is negative 4. So that's negative 4k plus 23 equals 23. So now here we now we subtract 23 on both sides. Okay, so this one's a little interesting. What do we get? We get negative 4k equals 0, and I can write that here. Negative 4k equals 0. Now we're going to divide both sides by negative 4. This cancels. K is equal to, what is 0 divided by negative 4? That is 0. And let me just make sure that's okay and I didn't make a mistake. Yeah. Okay. No mistake. K equals 0. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Here, let me move the camera up a little bit. 20 equals 10x, negative 12x, negative 30. 20 equals negative 2x minus 30. Let's see. Add 30, add 30. 50 equals negative 2x. This cancels. Divide both sides by negative 2. So I have negative 25 equals x, or x equals negative 25. Okie dokie. Happy face. Not too bad. How long was this video? 11 minutes? Not too bad. Maybe you finished it sooner, maybe you fast forwarded, whatever, but these were the questions for the first page. What I'd like you to do is try these questions. Now here, in the second video, I'll go through these 4 questions, and I'm pretty sure there might be a little bit of a confusion on how to do this one with the fractions. But for sure, everybody, you should at least try these 2 on your own, or pat your friend on the shoulder and say, hey, let's do some math and try these 2. Okay, I'll see you in class.